Hello, everyone. It's time for Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 274, season 11. Today's date is November 12th, 2023, and welcome to the program. On today's program, I will discuss a radio disc jockey that was here in Chicago in the 1970s. His name was Captain Whammo, and he just passed away this week, and I'll talk a little bit about his biography and my memories of him. Also, I will talk about some other memories of canned fruit juices from the 1970s, like, for example, High C, Hawaiian Punch, their flavors. So that's kind of interesting. Well, to me it is. Also, I will talk about my visit to the Elmhurst History Museum that I went yesterday. And I visited the Lost Chicagoland department stores exhibit, and it was very cool. So I'll give you a report on that. So it was a lot of fun. Anyway, before I get started, the program will go into commercial break, and this program is brought to you by Hungry Hippos board game. Well, it's not really a board game, but it's a game. So, and actually, it's a tabletop game. You put it on your table and you play. And this commercial is from 1978. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the show, folks. Thank you.
If you want to win the game, you gotta take good aim and get the most marbles with your hippo. Playing Hungry Hippos.
Hey!
Hungry Hippos.
Hooray!
Hungry Hippos is the name of the game, and whoever hippo gets the most marbles wins.
Got it!
Playing Hungry Hippos. Hungry Hippos.
I win!
Hungry Hippos from Hasbro.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Hungry Hippos. This board game, I don't know if I had this. Probably not. This came out in 1978, and it was invented by a man. He was a toy inventor. His name is Fred Kroll, and it was manufactured by the Milton Bradley Toy Company. And the object of the game is you have these four plastic hippopotami. And you press the levers and you try to grab all the marbles, with their mouths, and then the one that has the most marbles wins the game. What I didn't know about this game is they had names for these hippos. First one was Lizzie Hippo. She was pink or purple. Henry Hippo, he was orange. Homer Hippo, he was green. And the Harry Hippo, he was yellow. Yeah. So there was one woman and one female hippo and three male hippos. This game is still made. It's by the Hasbro company. You can find it anywhere: Walmart, Target, Amazon. I'm sure it's the same way, But I don't think I own this game. But they used to advertise this on TV, and the commercial that I just played was a classic, and it's that song. I can't get it out of my head, so it's really something. Yeah, introduced 45 years ago. Wow, I was 15 at the time when it came out. All right. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about Captain Whammo. His real name was Jim Channell or Channell. I don't know how you pronounce his name. He passed away this week. I don't know how old he was. That was announced on Facebook by disc jockeys that worked with him during that time, during the 70s. Also, I'll talk about vintage canned fruit juices, drinks that, like, for example, Hawaiian Punch, High C, those big cans, and I'll go in more detail of that, with flavors and my memories of that. And also, but first, I will talk about my visit yesterday at the Elmhurst History Museum. And what they had in an exhibit was the lost Chicagoland department stores. Yeah. So I decided to go there. I had breakfast with a friend of mine, a childhood friend. I've known him since we were kids. And I told him I'm going to the museum by myself. And he said, "Oh, okay." He couldn't come with me. He had to take care of his dog. So that's a shame. I wish it would have been nice. So I drove there for the very first time. And, I love Chicago history. And ever since this was announced that they would have an exhibit about this particular topic, it opened on October 6th of this year. And so I entered in. They had pictures of all the stores, and they had items on display, like, for example, coats, hats, gift boxes, receipts, catalogs. Oh, it's not very big, but it's very nice. Wasn't very crowded, but there were people there, and they were just a lot of people. Most people were older than me. But they were just fascinated by looking at the pictures, reading the descriptions, the captions of that. And it was amazing. And for example, what stores they had, I'll tell you. They had Marshall Fields, Weebles, Carson Peary Scott. I think Charles A. Stevens. Maybe I didn't see it. I think I did. I'm not sure. Montgomery Ward, Sears. They had two department stores from Elmhurst. I can't pronounce the first one, but the other one was called the Elm Department Store, which this sounds interesting. I might do a podcast episode about that store. And let's see what else other ones. They talk about the malls, like, for example, Oakbrook Mall, still there. Woodfield. They showed there's like two screens, like you can watch videos on those. Let's see what else. There were others. I was fascinated by that. And then I went to. They had a store. It was just a little room across the hall, and there was this young man, and he worked there. And they had the book of Lost Chicagoland Department Stores, authored by Leslie Goddard, which I know her from Facebook. She has appeared on television with some documentaries, and I haven't met her yet, but I do talk to her and on Facebook, and she did an outstanding job. Oh, awesome job, and she's just, it's amazing. Someday I'll meet her. And getting back to the young man, well, he was a college student at Elmhurst College, I believe. And he's a history major. And I told him I told him I'm mentioned in the book twice. And he goes, "Oh, that's fascinating." He had no idea about the podcast or the Facebook page, about Chicagoland. So I told him, I introduced myself. I'm Pete Costanis. I'm the admin, for the group and the page. And he was like, "Oh, wow, that's cool." So, yeah. And I told him I have a podcast, and I showed him, and he goes, "Yeah, I'd like to listen to this." Oh, that's nice. It's nice that young people are interested in history. Oh, it warms my heart. It makes me feel good. That young people would love to read, and love to, learn about that. And It's a great place. I strongly suggest you should go visit. It is fascinating. It really is. And it's open now. Yes, it's open right now. So I'll give you the hours. It's Sunday and then Tuesday to Friday. It's no Sunday. Yes, I'm sorry. Sunday is and Tuesday to Friday. It's open from 1 to 5. Saturday is open to 10 to 5, but it's closed Mondays. And the address is at 120 East Park Avenue in Elmhurst, Illinois. And you can find this on the internet. They have all the information. You can contact them if you like. And it is wonderful. Yeah, I had a great time. I might go again. We'll see. Oh, and one last thing. It runs through January 28th. That is the last day. I don't know what they're going to do with this stuff. I have no idea. So it was fascinating. I'm sorry, but it was wonderful. I loved it. It's got some cool photos. It really does. I hate to say this, but when I told the young man that I wanted Marshall Fields to come back, I gave him, I gave the raspberry, like, we want it back. We want it back. He understood. And let's see what else. Yeah, so it was fun. I had a good time. I really did. And I posted a couple photos of me. Yes, I have the pamphlet, and also I'm pointing on a wall. It's a photo of Gately's People Store that used to be on 112th Street and Michigan Avenue in the Roseland neighborhood. My mom shopped there all the time. We went there. It was a great store on the south side. What was mentioned in the book was I had great memories of the donut machine that was in the basement where they made the homemade donuts, and you could watch the conveyor belt, and they dropped the donuts in the oil. That was cool. That really was. Okay. So if you have a chance, please visit. If you're a history buff like me, for Chicago history, come on by. You won't be disappointed. Okay. Now let's get back to Captain Whammo. I used to hear this guy's name when I was growing up. When I was a teenager, between 12 and 14, like that. He was on the radio. He was on WDHF. Then it turned into WMET, 95 and a half FM. He was not a crazy guy, but he sounded crazy. And so does the name sounds crazy like that. So his real name is Jim Channell or Channell. I don't know how, or Channel. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he seemed like a nice man. And he wasn't on the air very long, and he's from Chicago. I think he's from the Lakeview neighborhood. And so he got into broadcasting, radio broadcast, communications. And then according to the website on Chicago Radio Spotlight.blogspot, that's he was interviewed by radio veteran Rick Kampfer, which I became friends with him on Facebook. He interviewed Captain Whammo and told him, "Where did you get that name of Whammo?" Well, he got it from some guy. He met some guy, and he was doing a gyration. He says, "I'm going to this girl's house, and I'm going to get me some Whammo." Oh, that sounds dirty. It really does. So the name stuck, and I don't know where you got the captain part, but in the so I'm glad that was great. So that kind of name would attract attention. It really would. the funny, then Rick Kempter asked him a question. Did you ever like threaten with a lawsuit from the Whammo company, that makes the Frisbees? And he said, no, no. Because the Whammo company, that's WHAM dash O with a big capital. Him is Whammo with two M's. Yeah. So he became, as he was on the radio, he became very popular, and he didn't do a lot of nutty stuff. Not really. Maybe off the radio it did. I don't know. Like that. And then he quit. And then he was headed to Nevada or Las Vegas or Reno and, do some gambling. But that didn't work out. And then he just left. And then he had some personal problems. And then one day he turned into religion. And, he found God. And that's wonderful. That really is. And he was like that for the rest of his life, And he worked at a few radio stations, and then he settled down to Florida, at I think Fort Myers or Naples. He settled in, and he was a disc jockey for a Christian music radio station, which is great, And so that's nice. That's very nice, and it's too bad he passed away. So I just heard that name when I was growing up. So anyway, here's a radio ear check I got from YouTube from April 13th, 1978 on WMET FM 95.5 FM. Did I say FM twice? Maybe I did. Sorry. So when I listened to this, it took me back. It took me back to a beautiful time. I'll get to that in a moment after the ear check is played, and I'll explain that. So here it is. One thing to mention, it's about 6 minutes and about 6 minutes and 49 seconds long. So it's wild. But once you get into listening to it, you're just drawn in. It's just, oh wow, it's like going back into a time machine. Okay, so here it is, folks, and I'll be right back. Thank you.
Captain Whammo. WMET Chicago 602 and that rock keeps right on rolling in the windy sit high. In the next 240 minutes, you will hear 220 minutes of rock and roll with me at L-E-T. WMET with Captain Whammo standing by with a brand new song from Styx next right here at L-E-T.
Oh, Chicago's changed. It's all brand new thrilling rides just made for you. Come on in and smile today.
On this Saturday, bring your group to the Midwest Arm Wrestling Championships at the Family Fun Capital, Old Chicago, I-55 in Moline Route. WMET 607 Captain Whammo Thursday night in the windy sit. Road feels a lot better. I feel like doing a little screaming and yelling tonight. In the next 240 minutes, you got 220 minutes of rock and roll. Keep it right here. 95 and a half. L-E-T. M.E.T. Cap Whammo standing by with Kiz, Sean Cassidy, and the Doobies next right here at M.E.T.
At breakfast time's a thief. I want my news and brief.
Turn to the Tribune.
When we talk about giving away high-low cash, we aren't talking nickels and dimes. Just listen to the latest winner.
$1,307.61.
You got it! Over $1,000! What are you gonna do with all that money?
Take a trip.
Diane, you're a high-low cash winner.
Oh my God, I don't believe it. This is terrific. Best thing that ever happened to me in my life.
Thousands of dollars in cash already given away in high-low. And still more thousands left for you to win. Just keep it on M-E-T.
Cap Whammo Thursday night, no one decent kind of me. Style with the Doobies next, right here at MET.
Blast off with K-Tel's Disco Rocket.
2LP $6.99, 8-track taper cassette $8.99. Pick it up at Woolworth, Warco, Venture, Go Blatt, Sears, Hasco, Musicland, Hornsby's, TG&Y, Scott Stores, and Montgomery Ward.
WMET.
Whammo line is open right now at 591-6311. Captain Whammo, Thursday night, the Wendy's sit tight. Laying back tonight, waiting for the Cub home opener tomorrow. Listening to the music. All the music at MET. MET Captain Whammo standing by with the Star Wars theme. Jack and Jill in Boston next, right here at MET.
Hey, have you heard?
Heard what? It's the dawn of a new horizon.
WMET.
Chicagoland, Captain Whammo, Thursday night, very cold tonight, low line 35, hot tomorrow 60. Right now, 51 O'Hare, 53 Midway, Loop and Lakefront 2. Whammo line is open at 591-6311. Open Whammo line tonight. You can say hi, guess my ESP, tell jokes, have dedications, and tell someone to shove it, whatever you want at MET. MET 629, Cap Whammo, Thursday night. The Wendy's sit tight. Don't forget now, brand new Wait is After Cap coming up later on this hour. Not yet, a little later on. Now, when I tell you it's time to zap the cap, you'll have to tell me what the last 4 songs were that I just played. Okay? It's really that simple. You gotta know the music. Better write them down. M-E-T. That is M-E-T.
Jack.
95 and a half. WMET.
MET Captain Whammo standing by with the Whammo line. An important announcement on the Whammo line next, right here at MET.
I never thought it would happen.
Read It's Okay If You Don't Love Me, now in paperback from Fawcett.
MET the Whammo line.
Catherine wants to set your ESP.
Okay, what's your name?
Donna.
Donna, what's your last name? And what school do you go to?
Can you tell me who my 2 favorite singers are?
Leif Garrett
Yeah.
and Sean Cassidy.
Yeah.
Okay, now listen.
Yeah.
You gonna go to the Cub game tomorrow?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what. After the last out in the 3rd inning, Bill Brannigan and Captain Whammo are going to start from the left field foul pole like we did last year and walk all the way around to the right field foul pole between the grandstand and the box seats. And we're going to be carrying this big box. You know what's going to be in the box?
What?
MET painters caps. And if you want one, go by the left field foul pole after the last out in the 3rd inning, and all you got to do is say, "Hey, Cap, give me a painter's cap, man." All right?
Okay.
And you'll get it for free. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Wham! Ow!
Whammo.
MET Captain Whammo, Thursday night. The Wendy's Chicago got Aerosmith, Yvonne Elliman, and the Doobies up next. You talk about big ones.
I think I'll dry these useless tears and get myself together.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Dolly Parton.
I'll bet she's a good swimmer. Pick it up at all Musicland and Chicagoland picture stores.
MET, where we've been telling you that this weekend, you, more than ever, can directly control what you hear on the radio. Now, here's how it works. The original Battle Weekend returns to MET tomorrow afternoon at 3. The greatest hits of all time battle each other, and you determine the outcome. It starts tomorrow afternoon at 3. This weekend is a battle weekend at MET.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the radio air check featuring Captain Whammo from WMET 95.5 FM. Oh my God, did you listen to that? When he was speaking and the music he was playing, like for example, Fog Hat with Slow Ride, Boston, More Than a Feeling. What else was there? There was Radio, Jack and Jill, that featured, I forgot his guy's name, Ray Parker Jr. Yeah, that's him. And they had Disco Inferno. Oh, and that was awesome. That was like during, I think I was 14 years old. I was a freshman at Bogan High School when this was played. And it was cool. It took me back to a wonderful time. Well, when I was at school, I was bullied most of the time. That was kind of hard. But I had solace watching television and listening to the radio. I mean, that was beautiful. Taking me back to an innocent time. Listening to good music and watching good TV. Uh, it was fun. It really was. And so my condolences to the family, to Channell. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, for their loss. So a lot of people don't remember him much, unless they were listening to the radio a lot around my age. So, but I just hear the name, and I did listen to him from time to time. Not all the time, because the other radio stations I listened to was WLS, AM or FM, or The Loop, or WFYR. WXRT, sometimes I did, but not often. But that was a cool period in radio. Really, yeah, that was fun. Okay, all right. Right now, I'm going to talk about my memories of canned fruit drinks. Like for example, fruit punches. Like for example, Hawaiian Punch and High C. Those products are still around today. What I'm talking about specifically is the big cans they used to sell. It was probably from the 50s to the 60s and the 70s. And one was Hawaiian Punch. It was just a fruit punch. That was the only flavor. And then High C came out in the 60s, I believe. And they came out with a lot of flavors. And I'll start with the High C one. They had cherry drink, grape drink. They had that. Orange pineapple drink, pineapple orange fruit. No, excuse me, pineapple grapefruit. Yeah. Then they had an orange drink, just orange. Florida punch and apple drink. Yeah, that sounds delicious. Probably loaded with sugar, like that. And Hawaiian Punch did come out with some other flavors down the road. They had, let's see, for example, they had orange. Let's see what I'll tell you one moment. Here we go. Yeah, they came out with raspberry, cherry, lemonade, grape, strawberry, orange. Like that. But they had different names like that. Like for example, the grape punch, they call it Great Grape. They call it that. And let's see, I don't know the orange. I don't know if it was called orange, just orange, or I think it was just that. Or they had different names like that. Of course, it featured the cartoon character Punchy, who punched that guy. He's gone. Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian Punch? And the guy goes, sure. And you go, boom, like him, punch him in the puss. So that was hilarious. That is hilarious. I did that in the 70s. And you know what? I have a doll of Punchy in the basement. My brother got it, and he's sitting on the couch, and that's kind of cool, like that. Every time I look at him, I think he's going to threaten you with a punch if if you don't have his punch. That is. Anyway, so it's a good product. The last time I had Hawaiian Punch was a few years ago. I get them in bottles, little individual bottles. It tastes the same. It tastes great. Now they come out with different flavors, with different names like that. So right now I'm going to play a commercial. Actually, it's two commercials in one. Sounds like certs. So, and it's apple red and lemon pink. So it's probably apple flavor, and lemon pink would be lemonade. Only it's pink lemonade, which I like. So here's a commercial for Hawaiian Punch, Apple Red and Lemon Pink from the 1970s. And once this commercial is over, I'll be right back to wrap up everything. Thank you, everyone.
Delicious red, apple red. Hey, how'd you like a new Hawaiian Punch? Apple red.
Sure. New Apple Red, loaded with health.
Get new Apple Red Hawaiian Punch. Apple Red, Apple Red. What gives this great new punch its punch?
Those 7 natural fruit juices
In Hawaiian Punch.
Hey, how'd you like a nice Hawaiian Punch?
Apple Red? Sure.
Oh.
Apple Red.
Lemon pink tastes lemony, looks pink. Hey, how'd you like a new Hawaiian Punch?
Lemon Pink? Sure.
Thirst-quenching new Lemon Pink.
Try new lemon pink Hawaiian Punch. Be cool, drink cool. What gives this great new punch its punch?
Those 7 natural fruit juices
In Hawaiian Punch.
Hey, how'd you like a new Hawaiian Punch?
Lemon Pink? Sure.
Oh.
Cool.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Apple Red and Lemon Pink from Hawaiian Punch. I found the other flavors. Well, I'm going to read off the flavors they had. I mentioned the orange flavor. It was called Sunshine Orange. Also, Great Grape. And Lemon Pink was the lemonade. Apple Red. I forgot to, and there was pineapple and also Very Berry. Yeah, I forgot about that one. A Punchy was introduced in like 1967. Yeah, he was introduced then, and I don't know if you see him on commercials now. Probably not. Well, I don't know. And then they introduced low sugar later on, because it's not good for you. Then they came in powders. Just like Kool-Aid and Weilers. And then, so you can make, instead of the cans, you can add with water and put it in a big pitcher and drink like that. And and they changed the names and all that. And so I understand like that. So, I remember my memories, my mom used to buy it. And sometimes we had birthday parties or get-togethers, and she would buy a big can, and we would have, she would pour it in a glass. Well, first she would take the bottle opener, like a can opener. It's like bottle opener and can opener, and you would open that, and they were kind of heavy, when you pour it like that. And, you pour it over ice, and it's delicious, So if you're in the mood for a thirst-quenching drink, pick up a can or bottle of Hawaiian Punch. Maybe I'll just do that. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Well, that's it for this program. I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I talked about my visit to the Elmhurst History Museum. I did that yesterday. They had the display of Lost Chicagoland department stores. It's on exhibit right now until January 28th. Also, I talk about Captain Whammo. I talk about my memories of him, and I also talk about the canned fruit juices from the 1970s, like, for example, High C and Hawaiian Punch. There's one thing I want to mention. I remember Yabba Dabba Doo. With Fred and Wilma and Betty and Barney. When Flintstones and the Rumbles, they had that can. I think I drank that one time. It was in the 70s. So they spelled the do with D-E-W, not D-O-O. Yabba Dabba Doo, like that. Okay. So once this podcast is published, it'll be ready this afternoon. It'll be wherever podcasts are available: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. Also, Breaker, Overcast. Also, you can listen. Whatever apps you have, you can Just listen and subscribe. Also, it's also going to be on my blog, vanchicagoland.blog. And it's also on my YouTube channel. I've said this many times before. If you want to listen, this is the easiest way to listen. Go to my YouTube channel, search Van Chicagoland Stories, hit the subscribe button, and you get a new episode. Probably get a notification on your phone or your desktop or your tablet. And you can also listen to previous episodes if you like. They're all there, all 274. And also it'll be posted on my social media accounts, Facebook, X, Instagram, Threads, and Reddit. You can listen to those. I posted on LinkedIn, not recently, but for the past year. So you can listen there as well. Wherever you like, it's there. So it won't be ready this afternoon. Anyway, this is Pete Costanz, your host for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. I had a wonderful time. It looks like a beautiful Sunday. I hope you go out and enjoy it. Take a little walk. Maybe I'll just do that, but it's still cool, and, just get some fresh air. Yeah. All right. So I will probably have another episode Tuesday. That's the big 275. And that is the last show of season 11. And then we'll start with season 12. Okay. So here's bye-bye for me, and here's Ray Rayner with a little traveling music saying bye-bye-bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.